just post on live on YouTube, and after that, I will share a video that I choose. Just a second.
Okay.
Hello, YouTube. Today we're gonna discuss here about the accent. It's an important topic about the English. It's involved like the diverse of the language and we know English is a universal language. And I choose some quick video to share with us to understand like when we talk about accents and about with that what we can understand about that. I will just share a quick video, and after that we are gonna start. Today we are gonna discuss about accents. Just a second, please.
That word? That ain't cool. I ain't do that. That's a derogatory term, fool. So I said to him, I love your sister, man. And he said, you can't have her. I said, what are you talking about, man? We're together. There's no ownership involved, esse. Whenever I go to England, they're always like, are you American? I'm like, get out of here, man. I'm Canadian. It's about time you learn the difference, eh? So me like a pitney just run up in the shop and him say, Daddy, me want that and that and that and that. So me say, you can't have all that, boy. Money don't grow on trees, you know. There has been some rumors that my restaurant is not the finest in all of Paris. These people are fools. They know nothing about food. What is it with the spiders? They come into my room, I squash them, then another one comes in. I want to know what goes on inside their little brains. They are crazy, yeah? I have added you on the Facebook, but you need to accept my request so we can talk on there because my phone bill is too high. Ciao. Hey Artyom, it's Yakov here. We have a buyer for the Soviet antique hat collection. He has already deposited the money directly into our account. We are going to be rich! Hurrah! 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 Okay, what you need to do is go into settings, go to network, put in the administrator's password, then click reset all internet data. So I look up into the dark bright night sky, and I see all the wonder of the universe before me, all the stars arranged in a certain way, a universe of infinite possibility. So this guy thinks because he can imitate a lot of accents, he is strong? He is a fool and cannot do Japanese without sounding like a samurai master from a Hollywood movie. Hello, class.
All right, I believe like that is enough because I can pass like all the video because his guy is amazing like to imitate some accents like because all right in the beginning of the video he says like it's like a funny way, it's not like the real one like how this type of uh people from this country talking English, but we can perceive like the how works English. Even it's a same language, but when we talk like in specific country, have it like so much things to diverse and it's difficult to talk. I will put the questions on the chat, Brizola, just a second, and then we can start. All right, I will read the first one. When you start learning English, did you ever imagine it would it be so tricky to understand the same word said in a totally different ways? All right, guy. All right, Brizola. I remember when I started to study English, I started to study like in American way, and it was just uh, familiar with like the some sounds of some words. But I remember when I had like the first experience like with a different accents, like for example British one. I remember like it's totally different because the way some words is different, even it's the same language, but some words different. The pronunciation is totally different too. And all right, when I start to study English, I didn't imagine like how difficult that could be. If I don't have like so much experience, like to talk with different uh, different speakers from different countries. If you like the difference between British and the American one, I perceive like totally different, and they had too much difficulty with that, like to a similar like how the way that people say some principal words. For example, I believe like it's the most popular example. Like American English, we say water, and the British one we say water. And with that, if you don't like familiar with that, that could be a real tricky because all right, we can just don't understand the some basic words because like they are accented in the way of pronunciation. And how about you? When you start to study English, do you imagine like, all right, I want to study English, but I can like face the other people that talk the same language but in a different way? What do you think about that, Brizola?
For me, not at all. I thought once I learned to words, everything would be make sense. But then I heard people from different cultures say the same word in completely different ways. For example, I don't know pronunciation English. British. Sorry, britânico, o inglês britânico, completely different in pronunciation. It has a multi fascinates and confusing and it's crazy, you know.
Yes, I totally agree with you. Go ahead for the number two, please.
Yeah. Have you even been surprised or confused by how different English can sound depending on the culture or region? For me, yes, absolutely. I remember in the video uh, hearing a German speak English from the first time and thinking, wait a minute, it's that really English? In my opinion, I find the German accent very aggressive. It sounds like they're angry and sweating. I don't know to make sense.
Yes, makes so much sense because I believe like the German language is like makes the I believe like it's some way like to put like the natural language in the English, like because German is awesome language, like so much stronger, like the way to talk. I don't know say any word in Spanish no, like in German, but the I remember once I tried do some some German exercise on Duolingo, and the first exercise I give up because it's totally different. It's totally it's a very difficult for me. And for me, yes, I've been confusing and surprised sometimes, like when I heard some a different English from some other country or region. For example, when I start to study technology, I I watched too much videos like in the about the Indians talking English, like the I believe like the last example, like if in the tutorials way, and it's very difficult to understand because the Indians say like in slow way, and they put like the accent about the natural language, and the oh my gosh, if I don't have subtitles, I can understand nothing, nothing. And I believe like that is the best example that I had. I remember now because I have to study or learning something. and sometimes involve like the TI area. Indians dominate like our YouTube. All right.
Oh, I have no idea how India speaks. It's different. É muito diferente?
Yes, it's like I don't know how I imitate that. Sorry, but it's like it's some way like I believe like the is some songs more nasal. I don't know if the language like more noisy, and the English thing it's like something like that. All right, I believe like
Uhum.
not the best imitation, but it's something like that. It's like more noisy. It's a noise songs, and with that it's real difficult to understand because they are talking about more technical language, and it's very difficult. All right, I will read the number three. Do you have a favorite English accent? Do you like about the sounds, the vibe, or maybe something cultural? In this video, in the beginning, he said about the British English, but like each region of the United of the I don't know how to say Reino Unido. I believe like England is the best way to express. I don't know if he had another name, but the each region of England we had the different types of British English. But in the general, I like the London way, like to speak. I like it not just for the sound, but I believe like he put it like in more in some way like something more authentic. I don't know why, but for example, like I said about water, about the some different words than the American and the British. And with that, I like that. I don't have like a specific reason for that, but I really like the British English principle, like the region that's talking in London. But I remember when I was younger, I heard like Australian English, and I like too because it's difficult to understand. It's not easy too, but it puts so much personality in this accent too. Now, how about you, Brizola?
I agree, Pedro. I like British accents, especially the London accent. In my opinion, it has a touch of classes, authenticity, but is still down to hurting. I don't understand. That's it.
And can you read the next one, number four?
Yeah, yeah. Uh, on the other hand, is there any asset that's super hard for you to understand? The one that makes your brain melt a little? Oh, for me, the tick of I don't know pronunciation in English, o forte sotaque irlandês gets me every time. Uh, 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 I think beautiful, but I need the subtitles to catch everything, especially in movies. That's it. And you?
I was just searching because I am the same in both. I for me it's totally difficult to understand like the I believe it's Irish. I was just searching on the internet. Irlandês. Irish, yes, that is Irish. Because I don't know like the reason. Because I don't know if I consume too much content about like this about this country, But I saw some videos, some series that we have some actors that is speaking like the Irish accent, and it's totally different like the American, the British, and I believe like that's the reason that sometimes that could be a little difficult to understand because I don't have like so much contact with that type of accent, and when we have it, like that make more complication. That's my opinion. But I'm the same boat. I don't like too much like the Irish one. All right. Number 5. Have you ever had to ask someone to repeat something just because of their accent? Yes. In the on the last the twice weeks ago, I had the opportunity to take some trip. Even is in Brazil here, I had the opportunity to talk with somewhat people from different regions and different countries, and I speak with a German one in English, and that's not the co-op about the video. Like I could understand, like I cannot understand too much about their English, but I remember some word. I don't remember like a specific one. I believe like he is a beach because sometimes we pronunciation that word yeah like in the uh, like in some way that could some native could understand like the other word. But I remember when I heard he speak that word, I couldn't understand, and I said to him like in a proper way, like, could you repeat just that word because I don't got. But yeah, I believe like it's something like so much normal on the conversations when we talk about with another ones, because even we are trying here to get our fluency. Sometimes some words we don't get, and it's totally normal. And with that, we can like discover the meanings of the word, like about the flow of the conversation, or about like the context about that the conversation that word are being using. But if that is some word is essential to understand some phrase, all right, for me it's not a problem like to ask for someone to repeat. And how about you, Brizola? Have you ever that similar experience, like say to repeat about it for some accent?
Uh, I don't know but English. Antes, uma pergunta para você. Do you feel strange, like how, tipo, how you don't understand what's, qual a sensação, assim, sua quando você pede para alguém repetir?
All right, for me, I feel like I don't. Uh, my opinion is that something like is in my world, in my mind, is like a empty. Uh, Makes my mind like in an empty way. Like for example, I feel like I don't understand something, but then when I ask to someone to repeat, sometimes I feel a little like, oh my gosh, maybe I don't, I'm not fluent in English. Maybe I'm not too much good in English. It's like the first feeling, my opinion. But when I just got like, it's just some word, I will ask to repeat. All right, is okay. But
Yeah,
it's my way to feeling.
yeah. For me, yes, of course, many times I always say, sorry, could you repeat that? And usually the person is handling the patient. I find that it's super embarrassing because it seems like I am insisting or like they don't understand what I am saying, you know? That's it.
Yes, I believe sometimes feel like a shame or some uh feeling similar from that. But all right,
Yeah.
for me, it's normal. We are not native. And
Yeah.
if for example, if some people abroad try to talk in our language in Portuguese, like we have some words to represent the other things, and for me, I believe like Brazilians had like some very interesting way to receive the people from abroad, and we always try to teach like the other people like the meaning of some word because my opinion is a kind of very difficult language to understand.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Rizal, could you read the number 6?
Yeah. Some people say we should aim for a neutral English accent. Do you think that's important? Or is having a personal accent totally fine? Totally fine. For me, having a personal accent is totally fine. As long you are clear and confident, your accent just adds personality, and reflects your background. I believe, and you.
Yes, I totally agree with you. I will share some example about like my Brazilian accent because I was born in south of Minas Gerais, and there we are more similar from some accent from São Paulo. But I had the opportunity to live in Northwest, and after I go to the interior of São Paulo, and after that I go to the central region from Minas Gerais, and after that I study in Juiz de Fora, that's more similar from Rio de Janeiro accent. And in my mind, there is like a mix of accents, and when I am talking, sometimes I push the letter R, and like porta, porteira, portão. But sometimes I mix it up and I don't say that that letter is too much strong. But I believe like is like you said, like you can put your identity, you can show put your accent, but that could reflect your background. Because for example, uh, it's for me it don't make any sense like you are American, you are from Chicago, and you are talking like Irish. Just the just reason from that if you had some parents from that region, but if it's not happening, it's like a little strange for me, like you are in a different context but you are having some accent from another region. That it could happen, but for me it's like more common and it's more natural. Your accent will be the reflex like the environment that you are. That's my opinion, but it can happen. I don't know.
Yeah, Pedro, you as a host, right? Is it difficult to understand because in Talking Talk there are people are over Brazil? What's your opinion for this?
Yes. In my opinion, I believe like our accent in Brazilian in Portuguese reflects a little in our English. Like for example, I remember I saw like some jokes involved like Minas Gerais, like it's a very easy like to say why because in Minas Gerais we say why for other contexts, not to be asking in a asking way. But I remember I had some immersions, don't being a host, like, but participating with some Portuguese people. And it's a real difference. Like he heard, like the even the Portuguese way to say like in our language, but in English. But I perceive when I talk, like for example, some people from the Northwest or from some South Brazil that have some accent, like more in a particular way, when we are talking English, because in my opinion, that is some reflection to like your accent in your natural language uh, have some traces like that reflects in our English too. It's like about the video, like the German. Uh, it's not sometimes we can just don't perceive it's English because it have so much traces and so much words and some way to pronunciation that are reflects of the natural language. But like in Brazil, we are a big country, and each region we have like a different way to speak our language naturally.
Yeah, in Rio de Janeiro, the accent is strong, in my opinion. Is it more difficult to understand when you speak English or not?
Sometimes I feel some difficulties, but but in talk like we are most of our like Brazilians, I can got like the words. But sometimes for me, like yeah, like I said about the talking about the German. But even when I am talking like with Brazilian, want some words I don't got to. But for me, it's totally normal and okay because for example, some words when we are talking English is very difficult like, to understand like how the way we are speaking some words. I don't know. I will just showing some words in the the questions like here, like to have some example. Uh, for example, the last word of the 14 question, communicator. We can say I don't know if it's the correct way to pronounce that, but we can say like comunicator or communicator. Like you can like focus just in a more strong. I don't know how to say syllable in English, but like the way to focus like when you are pronunciation something. And sometimes when we are not native about the language, we can make some mistakes and if that I perceive like some regions specifically in Brazil focus like in some parts of the world, and with that sometimes it's kind of difficult to understand, but but like I said before, when you have like a contest, like is a easier way to understand like what the means of the word or what the people are trying to say if it's not the correct pronunciation. I believe that, Lucas.
Good, thank
All right, choose another question, please. We are on the number 6, but you could choose anyone.
Right now, it's question number 7, right?
Yes,
Yes.
right?
How do you think is different between having or an accent and speak incorrectly? In my opinion, an accent is about how you say something. You're writing, I don't know, correctly in English, rhythm, intonation, and pronunciation. Speak incorrectly means using the wrong words or grammar. Two totally different things. I don't know. It's correctly. And you?
Yes, I believe like it's different words, like speaking correctly or talk with the accent. But even though I believe like for example, I am American one, and I am speaking like a British. I will feel like when I saw some words like in a different pronunciation, I maybe I will feel like this guy don't know how to speak English correctly. But all right, it's just the accent. But in my opinion, some some regions we have like a different slangs. We have like some ways to short the word, like for example, wanna, like wanna or gonna. It's some way like to short the word and it makes more easier like in the speaking way. In a formal, we don't use like these kind of expressions, but it's some way is like in grammar is incorrect because we are shorting expression. But for speaking, it's some way to make shorter. Like in Brazilian Portuguese, we have like Brazilian Portuguese, we have some words like words like that. Like we are trying to short some words. But in my opinion, that different words. But sometimes, like for example, I am British and I heard America ones. Maybe we can feel like it is a incorrectly way to speak English, but it's just the accent.
Pedro, or Americans put words together. Can you understand it easily or not? Or depend?
Depends. I love to watch sitcoms because for me it's a funny way to understand the English. It's some way like to make a contact with that language. But for example, sometimes I try to watch some series without subtitles, but sometimes it's a real difficult like to understand because it's like they are speaking so fast and they short some words and if you're not familiar with that, it's not make any sense. Sometimes when I don't had like when I don't got some phrase and they have time and they like I'm not like a tired just to return some scenes and put the subtitle, understand the word, and after that I put the subtitle. I put off the subtitles again. It's a kind of exercise that I make when I had time and I have some when I am available to do that because sometimes I just don't understand something because it's difficult because they are short in some word or just some phrasal verb or some slang and I just ignore it and say I don't got like the what they are real say but in the context makes sense some way.
I want to have your peace of mind because eu fico doido com isso.
Yeah, there's that kind of exercise like if when sometimes we don't got something, yeah, right, keep going. All right, then we will read the number 8. Do you think your English accent reflects your personality or your background in any way? All right, in my opinion, my English reflects some of my personality. I remember when my first immersion, I shared with my friend like, oh, now I am hosting some platform and that, and they are saying like like the way I speak in English is like a different way like I speak in Portuguese, and sometimes I believe like it's some reflects like more about my background in English too because I start to study English in American after I study a little bit of British. I like to listen to some styles of English and watch some series. And in my opinion, that reflects our English too, like what content we are consuming in another language. It's like examples, for example. It's like examples, in my opinion. When you consume some content, our mind, our brain will just link it about when you are talking in other language, like with that. For example, I speak a little bit about French, but I just study a little bit on university, the language, and after that, I just study on Duolingo. And the Duolingo have some characters very very remarkable. And with that, sometimes I perceive like my English is just some copy, like some characters of the Duolingo. And I believe like it's about that, like your brain try to, when you're speaking other language, try to copy some remarkable things. My opinion is about that, but I don't know correctly how our brain works when we are talking another language. I believe like it's a mix up of information for them. And what do you think about that, Lucas?
Good answer. Everyone has learning something from Duolingo, right? For me, yes, definitely. I think my accent show that I am Brazilian, and and that I learn English with dedication because it every word, every sentence that I learning, I am constantly changed until I learn. It's like a fingerprint of my linguistic journey. I don't know pronunciation correta em inglês. Fingerprint, impressão digital. That's it.
I like your expression, like they are like your our identity about the other language. I really like. All right, could you read the next one, number 9?
Have you ever noticed yourself changing your accent a little depending on you are talking to? Oh my God, talking to. Why do you think we do that? For me, yes, especially when I tried it talking to native speakers. I try. I think it's natural. We try to adapt it to make it communication smoother and connected better with the person. I believe that's it.
Yes, I agree with you. Sometimes we just change like in a natural way because it's a some I don't know, we are when we are talking with the other one and we have some connection with that. It's I don't know. Our minds just talk like it's similar from them because we are having some connection. I don't know. For example, when I moved to Juiz de Fora, when I am talking in Portuguese, uh, just because it's too much carioca, people from Rio de Janeiro there, I copy a little ways to how to talk and some the ways to speak something like the pronunciation, the accent, and something normal because we are having our environment just talking like with that, and with that we just imitate. I believe like it's about about some actions and comportment about the humans. My opinion is something is a some way we are having some connections, like try to speak in the same way or similar, because sometimes it's very difficult like to copy like the all the way the other people are talking, and they copy like the stole like the accent of the other one. All right, I will read the number 10. Have you ever felt that someone's accent made them sound smarter, funnier, or friendlier even before really getting to know them? All right, one, I really like the British English because you say there's something, and I totally agree. I believe like it's a charming way to speak, it's like a beauty. And when I heard something, some people talk the British like in a British accent, I was judging like the people are real classy, they are smart. I don't know. I just imagine that some people like with a hat try to speak with me. I don't know. It's just some mind that comes in my mind, like when I heard someone speaking a British accent, because yeah, in my opinion, it's really charming. It's really beauty. And how about you, Brizola?
Good answer, Pedro. For me, I think a French accept English always sounded so elegant for me. And sotaque do sul dos Estados Unidos, accent can make someone sound super arm and friendly. Yeah. Já ouviu o sotaque do sul dos Estados Unidos?
All right, I don't have like the example in my mind comes, but yeah, we'll search after the immersion about the to to get know if I heard before. Maybe of course I will heard. You do have some example of some people that is speaking like in the accent like real remarkable.
I watch movies. I watch movies. I remember accent, but a phrase not. Sorry,
Yeah,
sorry.
it's
I don't
totally
remember.
good. But
Se eu
what
lembrar, eu
movie like
coloco.
with some like this kind of accent? Just to I watch some parts of the movie.
Sorry, I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't remember o name. Eu lembro da cena, mas o filme não. Se eu lembrar até o final, eu coloco aqui. Falo pra
All
você.
right, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. All right, the number 11. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, good. Um, if, do you think watching movies or listening to music from different English-speaking countries help try your ears to understand the different accents? For me, absolutely is one of the best ways to try your ear. Movies, especially because you get the visual too. It helps help your brain connect to dots. I believe. Uh, for example, I watching series Mother Family. You watching? Uh, totally English e tá me ajudando a ter vocabulário, sabe? And you?
Yes, I believe like it's a good exercise to or 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 to understand like different accents because I believe the series is a good example because sometimes we just don't have like for example, American series. We don't just have like American actors. We have like Mexicans, we have Brazilian, we have like a mix of actors, and with that we have like different accents. And with that, I believe like it's a good way to exercise. For be honest, I don't. For example, some bands that I like to listen that sing in English. I don't know like the history of them, like where each singer were from. But in my opinion, if you want to get more familiar with that, like you have some search, like for example, I will hear like some bands from Canadian. I will listen some bands from England, or I will listen to some bands from south of the United States, or Mexico, or something like that. It's a good exercise, like to explore like different accents too. But I didn't that search even. But I believe like it's a good way to.
Yeah, a question for you, Pedro. How advanced your knowledge of English compared to me? Everyone you teach, I, I don't know pronunciation, ensina on YouTube exclusively recommends the Friends series. Does it make sense to you? What's your opinion about?
About the watch Friends?
É, por que que todo mundo, a maioria que ensina inglês no YouTube, recomenda exclusivamente essa série?
All right. I believe like it's not just because it is, in my opinion, I like Friends, but I don't, I believe like he don't I don't know if he are more on Netflix or Amazon Prime. I believe like I don't know where Friends are passing now. I remember when I watched in Netflix, but it's too much time ago. But I believe like he is a kind of more easy way to learning English, because he even had some slang, he had some phrasal verbs. I remember it was the first series I watched like totally English, like without subtitles and things with that. But I believe like sitcoms in general, we can understand it like we can develop it and learn it faster in English, because it is like sitcom is involving like a real world, but in a funny context and things like that. In my opinion, it's a good way for that. I believe like we can learn it with a different series from sitcom. For example, I am watching now Seinfeld. Sometimes we had some difficult phrases, and the depends of the episodes. We have like different slangs, different contents, and I had to do like the exercise that I said before, like previous scenes, put the subtitle again, understand, and with that continue. But I remember I watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine 2 in English, and I got too much things, and it's a real one. It's a real good one. Uh, that's the series that I remember that I watched. But because I believe like the sitcoms has like a perfect way to understand, because it's the Office is another one. I watch the Office full English too, because he has short episodes, like he's English with most of the sitcoms is American one. It's I don't remember specifically series of sitcoms that are on a British, but that is my opinion. I believe like sitcoms is a perfect way because of that, because the time of the episodes, like the real world, the funny situations, and we can improve about that. But I follow like the example of the other teachers. Like I watched my first series, our friend is friend was friends.
Yeah. Thank you for the tip. I will research more about this and start watching. Thank you.
Yes. All right, Brizola. I don't know if we have enough time. That passed a lot of fast. Thank you for being here, and they had this opportunity. It's a real nice talking with you, guy. And you want to add something before I close the room?
Adorei, adorei ó, vou falar em português, tá? Gostei muito
Yes,
da
don't worry.
conversa. Em 2 meses aqui é a terceira vez que eu consigo ter um bate-papo assim exclusivo, foi muito bacana. Obrigado aí por trazer esse tema, né? Acredito que eu consegui me desenvolver bastante, consegui
Foi
aprimorar
muito
algumas
bem,
coisinhas
muito bem.
aí. Muito obrigado, viu, por trazer esse tema, gostei muito.
Beleza, eu que agradeço pela oportunidade. Eu vejo que realmente, quando a gente está falando principalmente sobre algumas coisas, é difícil a gente lembrar de algumas palavras. Eu acho que você trouxe também algumas palavras que, por exemplo, fingerprints, foi uma palavra assim que eu mesmo não lembrava. Então é
Uau!
muito legal quando a gente consegue trazer algumas palavras assim que não são muito do nosso vocabulário do dia a dia quando a gente está nas imersões, né? E conseguir colocar no contexto, eu acho muito legal. Legal mesmo.
Obrigado.
Então é isso, Brizola. Tamo junto. Bom resto de noite.
Obrigado para você também, viu?